returned. What are we doing? We're working on a template project as kind of the wrap up after kind of checking all the boxes for what we were doing with the breakout clone. Which is not to say that we couldn't have done more with our breakout clone. Try to polish it up, do some artwork. We could do some fancy things, but it's fine. We kind of had a set of things to figure out with that project, and we got those things figured out. So now what I need to do is open Godot. I have too many windows. Okay, Godot. There we go. We are going to import. This project. And let's see how this goes. Res UI menu has broken dependencies. Materials, new shader material lets you res. Interesting. Why? Figure that out. Okay, UI menu. Fix dependencies. We want to use we don't have the shader material. Let's fix that. Also, maybe not the best name. Based. Also, path is wrong. Materials, shaders, background.gd shader. I guess this should be like background shader material, or maybe just background material. And I guess what I'm really saying is that for this template, I'm just going to keep carrying forward this the shader that we're using. It's not the worst thing, but anyway, shaders, copy this to the template. I'm gonna paste that inside of my materials folder. Yeah, and then what else do I need to do? Oh, I see. One should be inside the shaders. Yeah, there we go. Okay. All right, so the shader that we're using. Oh, you know what? I think it's fine. I think I still have copied into the credits scene. Background shader from, some code from, and then we're gonna remove this attribution for the Pong and sound effects since we're not using that in the template. Okay, cool. Let's go back to Godot, and then you need to select this. Okay. Fix dependencies. Yeah, it's fixed. Okay, open anyway. Okay. If I play, yes, invalid access to property or key, game over on a base object node. On scripts main. Line 8. All right, we're trying to connect a game over signal. I guess I need to recreate that game over signal on the game manager. And specifically, the signal needs to have. I guess it doesn't really need to have a player. Yeah, I can include player 1. All right. What else is broken? Like ideally, like the game will load. New game doesn't really do anything, right? Because we're missing some functions, but that's okay. I don't care if like that stuff doesn't work, but like the key bindings, action not found in input map, move up. I think that's fine too. Like every game is going to have a different set of like inputs on the input map, so it's fine if that's broken initially until you actually define what you want and go into the key bindings scene and set that up properly. So audio, this is here, and works. That's nice. Should we like? Probably a progression for this template and then future games is take key bindings and audio and make like a settings menu and then have like tabs or something where you have these different options rather than having 2 separate buttons on the main menu for that. Credits just takes us here, high scores, no high scores yet, great, and quit, and that works. Okay, and there's a bunch of things in the debugger. Yeah, the theme refers to a font that we don't have. Refers to things that don't exist. Yeah, lots of things. If I reload the current project, have those been fixed by Godot, like capturing things, or maybe I have to open the scenes and resave them? We're gonna find out. New theme has broken dependencies. Okay, so let's go into the new theme. Okay, theme. We're gonna rename this to just theme. Okay. Edit that. Yeah, it doesn't have font. That seems fine. Seems fine. Where is it trying to load the font from? Just the theme, probably, right? Let's see. Let's try reloading again. I just want to kind of resolve these sort of like, oh, this thing doesn't exist sort of things that where we're referring. Okay, theme has broken dependencies, so I guess let's go into the theme file and see what's going on. Okay, we're referring to a font file. So we'll just remove that. We'll remove that. Yeah. Now, if I reload the current project, that should be, that error should go away. So the new game and key bindings buttons are not going to work, but audio should. Yeah, and it even persisted, although we're getting some errors. What's going on there? We don't have a bus. Should have like a master, music, and effects buses. These because those are required by the mixer. Mixer persistence, script, master music and effects. Yep. There we go. So I wonder if that will fix our issues here. Yeah. Cool. Maybe we should create a folder for resources. Trying to think, like, okay, so we have this default bus layout. And honestly, can we just rename this? The bus layout. Where should this live? Maybe in the top level is fine. Yeah, let's add elements of like explaining what things are for here. See what column is this? 26. There we go. Explanations. All right, so we have a template to use for future games. Yeah, let's just like dump all this stuff into a commit. Enhance project structure, update README, add audio bus layout, implement background shader, refine UI theme. Sure. Publish to a GitHub public repository, saving Godot template. Is this gonna work? Is it just going to automatically create I don't think Oh. Did it just make a new repository for me? Is that a thing that just happened? Also, I think I had some unsaved stuff. Nope, guess not. Let us go to GitHub. What did I just do? Template. There it is. We made some commits. And I think what I need to do is in settings we say this is a template repository. About template repositories, and then I think what we can do, if you go back to the code tab, there's a use this template to create a new repository. That's kind of what I was after. um, so you create a template repo. You can do that. Yeah, you can't use GitLFS. And then it's just an okay. It'd be cool if there was a little bit more functionality here where you could actually like provide stuff inside of the repo that was templated based on using the template. So we can make a redesigned parakeet. This, by the way, is like I mentioned earlier in the stream, the project that I worked on for more than a year, glowing telegram. That came from. Oh, it doesn't cycle names when you click it anymore. Aw. It used to be you could just keep on clicking this and it would just generate more names. At least that's how I remember it. So Minesweeper. Godot Minesweeper. Is that an accurate description? Yeah, Godot engine, a free and open source 2D and 3D game engine, right? So we will make a new repository based off of our template. We'll create it. I mean, it's theoretically not hard to just copy a bunch of files into a new folder and start doing things. But it's not the easiest thing. If you want a clean start, see the last like 30 minutes of me making a template repo. Right, what is it doing? Oh, I see. Right, because we're pushing on main. It is doing a build of this project already, which is neat. Okay, so I guess we're on our way to working on a Minesweeper clone. So the things I identified that were gonna be new for this game would be we're actually going to use the mouse to interact with things on screen, and we are randomly generating a map, right? So with the Pong game, there wasn't really a map. There were just some fixed game objects that were the game. Some things could be respawned, but it's all like fixed. With Breakout, we had levels, so we had still fixed objects, but we had different designs of them that we would load in one after the other as you complete levels. With Minesweeper, what we're going to do is we're going to have some kind of like choose your difficulty thing. It's going to control, I guess, the number of mines, or maybe they'll just be like, we need to have like a menu when you do new game. It's going to question you like how many mines, how big of a map, or maybe we can have predefined ones. Maybe we'll just start with, we're going to do a X by X grid, and it's going to have Y mines, right? And then we can add some configuration. So we'll randomly generate where the mines are, right? Actually, I think one interesting thing that's different with Minesweeper versus something else that where we have like a randomly generated level is that the layout of the map in some ways can't be the so whatever the first cell you click on in Minesweeper, there's never a mine there. So I guess there's two ways of doing that, right? One way is you generate the map, and then if whatever is the first tile that the player clicks, you just make sure there's not a mine there. Or you wait for the player to click one place, and then you generate the mines everywhere else, and then you go. So what are the difference between those two approaches? Like, I guess on the one hand, if you let's say you have a special case. This is the first tile the player has clicked. Well, then you have to have a special case of like, okay, well, this is the first tile that's cleared. I guess it's separate logic, but you wouldn't necessarily have to keep separate state about that. Like, you would be able to see, oh, this is the first tile clicked, and then proceed from there, right? Versus something where, okay, you start a game, you create the grid, you've not laid out the mines yet, the player clicks a tile, and then you lay out the mines, and then you do the reveal logic, right? Because there's a couple of things that happen, right? When you click a tile in Minesweeper, if you don't hit a mine, it reveals all of the... How is the logic for Minesweeper? How does that work? Minesweeper. Uh-huh. The issue is that this is going to all be about, like, how do you play Minesweeper, not how does... Okay, we can literally play it, apparently, in Google. This takes me back. Is it when you click a tile that has no adjacent mines, it clears all adjacent tiles that also don't have mines? Is that the logic that causes the behavior that I just showed right there? I think so. All right, let's make some notes. All right. Well, I guess to start with, show a... Hold on, go back. Does it say the size? It doesn't say the size. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Is it 9 by 9? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, 9 by 9. 9 by 9 grid of tiles that the player can click. All right, what else? What else do we need to kind of do initially to have anything, right? So I think and like there's stuff inside of this too, right? Like, I don't know, how are we going to do, like, we could just use UI elements for this. Like, we could use a grid container and things and buttons. We could do that, but maybe not. Create a data structure that contains the list of mines. generate random list of mines after player clicks the first tile. How are we keeping track of like the do we need to keep track of how do we I guess the question is, how do we keep track of what's been cleared? Like if you so just thinking through what we need to do, right? So you can right click a tile to mark it as a place where you think there's a mine. You can left click a tile, right? Player can click a tile. I guess we need to do this before we generate the random list of mines to open it, whatever that means. Player can right click a tile to flag it. I don't know. I think this seems like a good place to start, right? This is a, I guess we'll add one more, which is that if player opens a tile, that's the language I think I'll use for this. Opens is to left click on a tile, and it has no mines and no adjacent mines. All adjacent tiles that meet the same condition are also opened. And then show a number on opened tiles if they have adjacent mines. And that's Minesweeper, other than like a lose condition and a win condition, right? And then like choosing game board size and number of mines, maybe? I don't know. But yeah, that's basically Minesweeper, right? So, how do we make a 9x9 grid where the elements are clickable and like there's something to be said of just like using the Godot UI elements. Also, I should clone the project that we made, right? Hit clone. Godot Minesweeper. Excuse me. I don't even need to open this. Let's exit. Let's close out all of these VS codes and we'll go import it into Godot. Yeah. Godot again. And, oh yeah, placeholder, sure. Imports. And we have Godot Minesweeper. Select this folder. Import. And probably the first thing we'll want to do is actually change the name of the project. So just 2D view. Not a lot there right now. Project settings. Name is Godot Minesweeper. Sweeter? Yeah. Close. Save. Let's go into the game scene. Game scene doesn't really have anything in it quite yet. So I have two thoughts. One is something I know how to do, and the other is something I've only seen some videos about how to do. So all this talk of like tiles makes me think of like the tile map stuff. But I don't know. I guess I could create just some sprites and then lay them out. I don't know that there's any clear benefit of like, I guess the upside of going the UI route of like using the control, like the buttons and the containers and those sorts of things, is that's very easy to like lay something out. And then what we can do is if we make all of the tiles on the game board buttons that are clickable, then we get some free stuff, but we lose control over what we could do with that versus what we could do is we could simply have we could programmatically add sprites in a grid, laying them out. How would that work? Just kind of sketch something out here really quick, right? So if we have some kind of node 2D, so this would be what? Some kind of sprite? So what is this tile map layer? Node for 2D tile-based maps. The tile map layer uses a tile set which contains a list of tiles which are used to create grid-based maps. Unlike the tile map node, which is deprecated, tile map layer has only one layer of tiles. You can use several tile map layer to achieve the same result as a tile map node. Interesting. Shall we just try to do things? The edited tile map or tile map layer node has no tile set resource. Create or load a tile set resource in the tile set property in the inspector. Right, so we can create a new tile set. Can we just move this? Now, I want to be clear. I don't know what I'm doing. Tile set. No tile set source selected. Creators select or create a tile set source. So what is an atlas? A palette of tiles made from a texture. But we don't have a texture yet. I guess we're gonna be making one here in a second if we're going down this route. So this would be the, if we were using UI controls, maybe we could just use text. Is it going to, like, how hard would it be to switch what we're doing here? Honestly, I don't know. Let's do this. Let me Okay, so if we wanted to add an atlas, that would be like, it's a texture, right? We want to create from like a PNG. I might have to go read some Godot docs really to know what I'm doing here, but maybe let me just try to throw something together really fast. So I need an image editor. It's amazing that I have spent 7 weeks, 7 weeks, doing game dev stuff, and I've not opened this program once. Oh, go away, Discord. So we're gonna create just a small image. We're gonna do like, we'll do 128 by 128 like this, and then what do I want to do here? I want to do something where we have a square brush that is 16. This. We'll do maybe 32 by 32. I'm gonna do something really simple here, right? Where I just like, I'm gonna make some solid colored tiles to represent different things. And then we'll go from there. So this might be something like uncleared, unknown tile. A mine is revealed. It's clear, or I guess the remaining tiles are like some number, right? So we'll do like, you know, a circular brush. Something like this. Really should get my my drawing pad out. There we go. That is the extent of my drawing ability. The rest is AI. So anyway, I'm gonna move this off to the side. Let's see. Documents. Oh, I see. It's the wrong document. What about this document? For Godot Minesweeper. There. Assets. Textures. It's going to be a PNG. It's going to be... I guess I'm just going to call this tiles.png. There we go. Atlas. Now, what does this do? Sure. All right, so it thinks the tiles are much smaller than they actually are. So texture region, it should be 32 by 32. Yeah. Okay. Control to create multiple tiles. How do you work? Yeah, that's setup. Select. I see. Oops. How do we work? Use control. Oh, size. I see. Okay, so we... base tile. And then paint. Select a property editor. If only I knew what I was doing. That'd be great. Okay, so here's the tile map. Oh, hey, look. I can draw a tile. So what is this? Where is 0, 0? Okay. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Ideally, like, the tiles would have some kind of like board, like something on the edge. Where do they overlap? It's really interesting. What am I doing? Yeah, this can't be right. Doesn't seem right. Interesting that undo undoes the whole stroke, which is both good and bad. It's interesting. So this feels like something that probably is going to lead me down a better path, but I think is also going to take longer to get to like something that's a functional game. Mainly because I have no idea what I'm doing. What does this actually represent? Tile map layer uses a tile set which contains a list of tiles which are used to create grid-based maps. Unlike, yep, okay, we read that already. Online tutorials using tile maps. That's interesting. So I think effectively, I don't know. I just don't know. If we attach a script to the game, finally get back to some VS Code. I trust myself. If I say, hey, I have on ready bar tile, what is it actually? Tile map layer? Nope. Tile map layer? Yep. Is there, what are things I can do also? If I want the typing, I need that colon there. What is a tile map layer? We have, let me get my terminology straight. We have a tile set, and those are like the graphical tiles, right? And then we have a tile map layer, which is a visual layer where we choose which tiles to apply. But those tiles in and of themselves are not like separate sprites that are game objects. Rather, we have one tile map layer game object, right? And ooh, are there signals for, okay, changed, sure. Okay, so I think what I need to do is I need to figure out more about like it seems like this is maybe not meant for interactive objects. Okay, so we're gonna ditch this for now. Goodbye. We are going to do something. What are we gonna do? I don't know. Save that out for a moment. So I think there's so that was one option to look at, is like doing something with tile maps, but I don't really see how to go from that to what I want to do. We could also use sprites. You can just make separate 2D nodes for each tile. At least that way we have more options. Let's go down that path a little bit, right? So node, oops. Didn't mean to double click that. So we don't have any kind of node like collision or movement that we need to worry about. So we don't have to worry about like a collision object. Some kind of animated sprite might be interesting. Carries multiple textures as animation frames. Huh. Can you have multiple? Let's take a look at that really quick. Right, so we have sprite frames. We can edit. Right, and we can have multiple animations. Right? So we have this default animation, but we can have others. So you could just change the animated sprite's animation to use a different animation off of the sprite frames resource. And then the animation could be played. I'm thinking about things like when the player clicks, we can have like an animated response to the tile being clicked. You can have, oh, the tile is actually a mine. So you have an animation where the mine is revealed and something. So are these settings? So animation looping can be turned on and off. Is that so we can have multiple animations and they have different FPSs and looping behaviors? Yes. So it could have like an idle animation if we want to have the tiles themselves be animated, or default could be just like a single frame. I think there's lots of options there, right? Which would be more challenging if we took the UI-based approach that I was thinking about. That would be simpler to do. The other advantage of going down this route is that we can just do a static sprite for now, and then come back and switch them to animated pretty simply, I think. So we do sprite 2D. A node that displays a 2D texture. Sprite's display can be a region from a larger atlas texture or a frame from a sprite sheet picture. Okay, so we have a texture, which is our tiles.png. We have a tile set that we made. If I select a texture here, a texture that crops out part of another texture 2D, an atlas texture. Wait, how can I, yeah, we can select, no, that would be the whole texture. So wait, tile sources. Okay. Okay. How do I... So first of all, clear that. Don't want that. This tile sources... So this appears to be a tile set. Where does this tile set exist? I don't know. Let's see here. So if I select a atlas texture and edit it, the atlas is this. It's going to get rid of the tile set thing. I don't think that's really... Maybe that's only applicable to the tile map stuff. So we have an atlas. We have a region, which is interesting. Is this where we can select the part of our sprite sheet? Pixel snap. Oh, wait, I can zoom in. That's good. Okay, 32 by 32. Okay. Margin. Okay, so we have that. Goes back to our sprite. All right, that was a lot of work for a sprite. When we need 81 of them. We can do animation. Sure, we could. Oh, wow. Where does the time go? Okay, so let's do this. How would I do this? I'm gonna snooze ads for a little bit. So can we just in our script programmatically add sprites? Oh, actually, let me undo what I just did. Let's go to this sprite. We'll take this texture and we'll save it in somewhere. Assets, textures. We're gonna call this Tiles Atlas texture. That's res, I guess. Should that be there or should that be somewhere else? I don't know. But the point being is that then we can get rid of this. We can go to the game. We might like make a subscene or something to handle this in the future, but we can do something like at export var tile texture. This is an atlas texture. Yeah, texture 2D. Tile size, sure. And then what we want to do is we want to let's also export map size is 9 by 9. Add sprite 2D nodes to the scene tree. You think that'll work? If we go to the game and we set these different properties, right? So we quick load our atlas, and then 32 by 32, 9 by 9, and we just run this and we go start a new game. Non-existent function reset game. Right. Func reset game. Yeah, sure. Anyway, here's our 9x9 grid of 32 pixel tiles that it did create before it broke. Let's try it one more time. Okay, so... Oh, the game manager needs a reset game. Okay. Hold on. Yeah, there we go. All right, so we made a board. It'd be cool if we made it so that when you clicked on a sprite, something happened. Is it possible? I guess what we could do is have a func input. And what we say if a tile is clicked, get global mass position. Is that actually a function? Hey, all right. Then we just I feel like there should be a better way of doing this. All right, so first of all, I'm gonna close sprite. Let's see. Godot, find sprite that was clicked. How to click a sprite from 7 years ago. Oh, right. So we could make our own thing that extends sprite 2D, and you know clicks there, or something. Let me go back. Maybe I'll find something from earlier than this, more recent. What is the canonical way of having a sprite to on-click behavior in Godot 4? The sprite is just a visual. Don't make it handle input. Use the area 2D for that and use the input event signal. Because I'm not colliding, you know, multiple game objects together. It doesn't make sense to me. I understand the sprite is the visual element. On the collision object, sure. Applicable to true. Let's what is this warning about? The root node of the scene is recommended to not be transformed. Okay. Are we transforming it? Didn't mean to. That was an accident. Can we try adding a sprite again just so I can see what options we have on that? Texture ordering, visibility, transform, region. What's that? Ah, okay. I don't know. Okay, well, I think it is about time for lunch for me. So I've identified some things that I need to do some more research on to figure out, which is like the whole point. That's the whole point of this. So I'm gonna do that, but but for now, what we're gonna do is we're gonna go find someone to raid. So let's see who's live. And Brainless says, "Have a great lunch. Thanks for the company." Yeah, thank you for being here and hanging out.